Hi, this is Natty Rice from sportstalkreview.com. The men's draw has been released for the French Open, and we are just hours away from the betting action. Joining me now to discuss the draw is SBR contributor and William Hill's in-play radio host, Lee Phelps. Now, there is a potentially explosive quarter-final showdown here between #1 seed and the world's best Novak Djokovic and 9-time French Open winner Rafael Nadal. What do you expect the line to be set at in a Djokovic versus Nadal matchup, and who would you put your money on?
That's a great question. I mean, I go Djokovic all day long, and I think the bookmakers would go Djokovic now. I think he would be the favourite. I mean, not a heavy favourite. I mean, whether he would be as short as it's like 1.5. I'm not sure he'd go that short. He'd probably like 1.5 maybe against a Federer, maybe even shorter than that. I mean, you're probably looking at him being around 1.8, I guess. I mean, he's a better player than Nadal at the moment. Look at Nadal's early season form on clay. It's just not there. We know how amazing he is. He's dominated this tournament for a decade. He's dominated this tournament like no tennis player has ever dominated any tournament in history. But it has to come to an end at some point, and he can't just flick a switch and turn it himself back 12 months or 24 months. He's not the player he was. Djokovic is the best player in the world at the moment, and I think he'll prove he's the best player in the world on clay. The difficulty is, of course, is that Djokovic hasn't won this tournament, and people are kind of starting to say, well, will he ever win it? Is there something about the French that he can't do? But I think he'll win this tournament. I think he'll complete that Grand Slam package that he's got. So I'd make Djokovic the favourite here, and I think there'd be quite a few people who maybe wanted to have some money on Nadal, but look at his form. All right, maybe he could start this tournament and look amazing, and then we might change our minds. But going into the French Open, from where we stand now, he is not anywhere near in good enough form to be able to compete with Djokovic. He's lost to Djokovic, he's lost to Murray, he's lost to Wawrinka, he's lost twice to Fabio Fognini on clay. I mean, come on. He's not the Nadal of 2013, 2014.
Well, in the same half of the draw as Djokovic and Nadal is none other than Andy Murray. Murray would, and if my tip is right, will either meet Djokovic or Nadal in the semi-finals, maybe more so Djokovic there. Now, he's trading at odds of plus 900 right now. So what chances do you give Murray?
It's a bad draw for him. A terrible draw. He needed to be on the other side of the draw. He comes up against Djokovic on clay, he loses. Simple as that. There's no getting around it. I mean, he loses to Djokovic on any surface, in my opinion. Djokovic is just too strong. Maybe grass. Maybe at Wimbledon, Murray could push him all the way. Murray would have to be at his absolute best, and Djokovic would probably have to be just off a little bit. I think Djokovic is having one of those seasons, maybe even like the 2011 season, where he was just so good, so strong. The difference is now, Natalie, back in 2011, 2012, Federer was still at his peak, Nadal was fantastic, Murray was coming up. Now, Federer's drifted, Nadal's drifted, and Murray's kind of stayed about the same. Maybe he's got some improvement in him, but for me, Djokovic would beat Murray in the semi-final. I don't think Nadal beats Djokovic, by the way, but if Nadal got through against Djokovic, that would mean that he's found his form from somewhere. So if Nadal has beaten Djokovic and meets Murray in the semi-final, Nadal beats Murray because he must be in good form, if you get my gist. But I think Djokovic gets through them both, basically.
Well, another player we've got to talk about here is Roger Federer. He had a nice pre-French Open run, losing to Djokovic in the Rome final a week ago. He's the #2 seed, and if you bet him just 2 weeks ago, you're sitting very pretty there. The odds then were plus 2,500, Bet365, and this is slashed now to plus 1,000. He might be looking at a match against Dan Wawrinka in the quarterfinals. How deep do you think Federer goes?
He's got a good draw. This is the draw that Murray wanted, obviously. Wawrinka's an interesting player. Obviously broke through and got his slam last year. Hasn't been in great form, though, so far this season. He's got some reported problems off the field as well, off the court. Federer could go all the way to the final. I worry about his fitness and his ability to stay in the match in a really long match on clay. That's my problem at the moment. I just wonder, has he got the patience and has he got the ability to trade baseline shots? I mean, you watch these games. They are mammoth games. Some of these rallies go on forever. So can Federer stay with some of the younger players from the baseline?
Yeah.
He could get to the final. He could. But I think Federer might go out at the semi-final stage.
Okay.
And whoever gets to the final meets Djokovic, in my opinion. And whoever it is loses to Djokovic. So it's kind of like, make your way there. Everyone do your best. then you'll lose in the final, in my opinion.
Except Djokovic there. But what do you say the best tip is for the French Open right now?
Look, it's obvious. It's just Djokovic for me. I think he's a fantastic player. You know, I said in the preview before that I liked kind of Shikori, you know, at a decent price to maybe go into the, if you could find some betting on, you know, making it through the quarter, or, you know, to get to a semi-final, could even get to the final, you know. So, but Djokovic, for one bet, it's a short price, we know that, but he's in a tougher side of the draw, so you're going to run for your money. I think if you back Djokovic to win the French Open, you'll be collecting in 2 weeks' time on a winning bet there. Even if it's short, I think it wins.
Okay, fantastic. Lee Phelps, thank you for joining us.